Morning. My name is Margaret Petros. Last name is spelled Petros. I'm the executive director of Mothers Against Murder, victim helping agencies with emphasis on helping families of murdered victims. And we are passionate about making sure that victim compensation is made available to families for funeral and burial expenses, as well as other benefits that are eligible. Any changes are important for the public to share their comments and be involved. And thank you for holding this session. I know I asked for it, and I believed more people would be present um, that care about this, but I don't see many here. It, in a way, tells us about how the California public are not engaged in this process, and so important to be. I would like to start from the beginning on page 1 of the regulations and quickly and briefly um, the beginning, which I fully understand the regulation have to follow the law about paying victims who are on parole, on probation, who have been convicted of a crime. Um, and the law would have to be changed. And I hope someday it will be because uh, all victims should be treated with the respect and dignity they deserve. If they were innocent victims of a crime, their expenses should be paid. They should be eligible for victim compensation. And I hope this program advocates for that with a legislator. And I know there are others as well as our agency who wants that to happen. As a civilized nation, all people who are victims of crime should be helped. We should not be differentiating. This is a good victim, this is a bad victim. It's the wrong message to send in every way. So I hope the law changes so our regulations are more appropriate. I do object to the subsection F, where the board shall not grant compensation to an applicant to any expenses um, due to a victim's death or injury while incarcerated or in a correctional institution. I personally have dealt with this some 20 years ago when I was at the manager at the victim assistance program. And I remember my director of victim witness was, a probation officer before. Remember this so clearly. We talked about it and we researched it. He was a probation officer who said, once somebody dies, their records ends. It closes legally. I remember it was by abatement, then no longer they're on probation parole. So the funeral burial expenses happen afterward and they were eligible. And I know I convinced this program to keep paying those expenses. They agreed that. Last night I did a quick search and it says when felons die, they are no longer on parole or probation. Um, and it's again, I'm not a lawyer, but the legal term was abatement. And please look carefully into that. We really want um, if someone is raped in prison and they're tortured and killed and they die, then that's it. They're no longer. So this part follows within the law because the law says, the statute says you can't pay those who are on probation and parole. But once it ends, that's it. No one can do anything about it. So we, as an agency and personally as a victim advocate for many years, I'm objecting to this regulation. And then going further down, um, just quickly on supporting document when another person files on behalf of the victim. I appreciate if there are specific documents that are built in the regulation, such as a power of attorney. Then people can file with that supporting document. When it's just general, then it's open to interpretation, and that always causes problems. On page 3, um, would be bullet number 9. So the applicant, when represented by an attorney or an authorized person, the application must include the name, address, and the number of the representative. Yes, if that representative starts the application, then sure. But in many instances, by the time the client comes to our attention, an application has already been filed. And I wanted to make clear that what's happening now is a forum that's built by the program, CAL VCB, uh, just signed by us as a representative, and it makes a record, and everything is, you know, a representative is keyed in the system then. That's the best way of doing it. I am concerned about duplicating applications. First, it's inefficient. It makes it harder on the victim, on us as the representative, who would complete a brand new application. No other system out there, if there is a change of representative, would require a brand new application. The courts, if there's a petition filed, a complaint, a complaint would not be refiled again, but a change of representative forum, or just adding another representative. In many cases, I mean, victims can have more than representative. We get involved for some reason, then filling out the form is all that's needed. I'm also worried if an application is filled out again and sent out with a new representative, it would be duplicating in the system. Already looking at annual reports, I see some files that are duplicates. It's cost more money, staffing time, and all that's totally unnecessary. It's making it more difficult on the victim and on the representative. So please keep it the way it is now. It's working fine. On page 4, and this is, I know, it's been there for many years to for crime reports to victims are encouraged and to obtain the crime report and crime documentation, which is good. But the truth and the reality is very difficult, if not impossible, for victims to get these reports. The emphasis on always it's the program that is to verify and obtain records, especially local victim witness offices. They are in there within, a stroke of a key, they can get these information. So um, don't depend on victims who are traumatized and suffering, and most of them have no clue how the criminal justice system works. Especially in our area of work, homicide cases, police departments do not release records. Yet it's easier for a state agency who has the law on their site saying that when they make a request, it has to be fulfilled within 10 days. So the emphasis on that, it's very important, and we'd really appreciate that. Um, just going through my notes here. There was a section about every field has to be completed on the application before it's considered and accepted as complete. That is another thing that is of concern to me because, again, not everyone can fill out an application with every single thing. For example, a social security number. Some don't have social security numbers, don't, and I know it's not actually required, but it's on the application. So my concern is when you clarify that in the records and in the regulations, somebody will follow that regulations, the staff will and deny that claim because the application is incomplete. There are many reasons. um, Following up, making sure that staff follows up to complete that application. It's easy to do, it's the right thing to do. We're here to help victims. Shouldn't be making it difficult. And, one field on the application is not complete and it's a problem. Um, and, again, it needs some training to the local victim witness offices who are the majority offices that bring the claims in the CAL VCB. Then they need to be filling it out. Let's not put it on the victims. Um, uh, I think the final comments I have is under on page 7, section 649.24. uh, Reimbursements of to service providers and ineligible for reimbursement. This is the first time I see such extensive language on um, ways that service providers would not be eligible. It's just too heavy handed. As is, it's very difficult to find mental health therapists to treat our victims. The payment is so low. And you pay a psychiatrist, so it's about $125 an hour. Um, we're in the Bay Area, San Francisco Bay Area. I cannot find any therapist, a psychiatrist under $350 an hour. To this language, it's so long, and the really message it gives is um, they are defrauding the program. That's how I'm reading it. They provide false information if they don't abide by the regulations and the statutes. How many people out there know about the regulations and the statutes of Cal VCB? As a trained certified um, victim advocate for nearly 4 decades, I still have to go and read the statutes and regulations to find some answers. So you are expecting and holding the providers of services responsible to know about these regulations. It is just too much, in my opinion. And again, how many providers are willing to treat crime victims as is? There is so many demands on providers to complete so many different forms that are difficult to complete as is. Really, this regulation um, on providers, I think it's insulting to many good people out there, providers of services, doctors, psychiatrists, psychologists, uh, people who want to help victims. But if they're held to all these standards, plus they are licensed, let their licensing agency deal with them. If there is a problem, if there is really fraud, there is a venue for you to report them. but not, have these heavy-handed um, r- mandates on service providers. It just doesn't sound right. It's just really unnecessary. I was thinking, yeah, reading these regulations, thinking, how many frauds have I came across by providers? I managed the Santa Clara County Victim Assistance Program for 20 years, and I was uh, very much a hands-on experience manager, processed claims. I could think in 20 years, definitely under 7 providers that there was an impression they committed fraud. And I have reported a couple of them. But really, there is no fraud. It's very difficult to figure out this program. It's difficult to understand it. How many providers or even victims are going to sit and think, how are we going to want to defraud this program? I would love to see statistics if I'm wrong. How many do you have? What for that is that what gave the reasons for this regulations? I'm really interested in dealing with the community of providers in a much more um, friendly, professional way and not bring this onto them. Thank you so much for the opportunity for listening. We appreciate it. We are, again, passionate. And I go back one more time about treating all victims the same and not separating victims. And I personally and professionally think anyone who is convicted of a crime, why, and then they're still innocent victims. And I want to share one story with you. That's what really made my impression many years ago. I was all for it many years ago. Like, yeah, they're felons. Why should they get paid from victim compensation? There was a woman who came to our office um, who was raped and could not get her claim allowed because she was a felon on parole. And about a week later, she got killed right outside our office. And it was a bus station that we heard. The entire office was traumatized by it. I will always remember that case. And I, thinking, what if we really could have helped her? She was an innocent victim of rape, could not get the help. And I am pretty sure if we spend more time, the legislators and voters, California voters, have always intended to have more services for crime victims and to treat all victims with respect and with dignity. And that's what Marcy's law starts with as well. Thank you.
Thank you very much for your public comment.